Malaysia, a country that is progressive and harmonious, with the people living in peace and prosperity. This is the result of the efforts undertaken by the government and its people since independence in creating a developed country as it is today. Prosperity, peace and advancement enjoyed by the people of Malaysia are the main indicators of the success of the government in administrating the country well, concomitantly tackling corruption. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or commonly known as the MACC, is proud to have been able to jointly offer contribution to the country's achievement. The establishment of the MACC is an evolution of government efforts to address corruption in this country long before its independence. The MACC was established on the 1st of October 1967, known then by the name Anti-Corruption Agency or ACA. The Cabinet, however, on the 16th of April 2008 agreed to establish the MACC in replacing the ACA for the pure purpose of enhancing transparency, independence and professionalism. As a consequence of the establishment of the MACC, its Act was approved and came into force on the 1st of January 2009. The Commission is headed by a Chief Commissioner who is appointed by the Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Structurally, the MACC is made up of 14 divisions, state offices and 20 branches throughout the country. The MACC operations, upon its establishment, are monitored by 5 special bodies set up on legal provisions and administrative orders. These special bodies are also responsible in scrutinizing and advising towards the smooth running of the Commission. The 42 members appointed shall comprise of academicians, community leaders, members of professional bodies and members of Parliament representing the public. The MACC is responsible for both the Parliament and the public. The Special Committee on Corruption was set up at the parliamentary level. Amongst its functions is to advise the Prime Minister on any aspect of the corruption problem in Malaysia. The committee is also tasked to examine the MACC annual report, which will be tabled in Parliament. The members are appointed by the Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The Anti-Corruption Advisory Board serves to advise the Commission on policies and strategies in its efforts to eradicate corruption and other aspects of the corruption problem in Malaysia. The appointment of members is also by the Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The Complaints Committee was established to monitor the handling of complaints of misconduct which are non-criminal in nature against the officers of the MACC, and where it considers appropriate to make such recommendations as to the work procedures in avoiding public complaints against the MACC officers. The members are appointed by the Minister. The Operations Review Panel comprises of members appointed by the Prime Minister. Amongst the main functions of this panel are to monitor, examine and advise the MACC on the aspects of investigation operations. The Consultation and Corruption Prevention Panel also comprises of members appointed by the Prime Minister. The function of this panel is to monitor, review and advise the MACC in terms of prevention activities, as well as the consultations carried out by the MACC. The acts of corruption are becoming more complex and challenging. Thus, the MACC continues to enhance the effectiveness of its efforts in the fight against corruption based on 3 principles: independence, transparency, and professionalism. Independence. The Commission is only answerable to the 5 special bodies. The MACC is free to investigate without having to refer to or be influenced by any party. Prosecution of cases are carried out by the Attorney General's chambers. Transparency. The MACC's operations and running are scrutinized and monitored by the 5 special bodies, thus ensuring its transparency. The MACC's annual report is tabled in Parliament and is accessible to the public. Professionalism. The MACC conducts its duties professionally and ensures that the duties are carried out efficiently, accurately, fairly, and effectively. The management of the MACC consistently ensures that its officers possess integrity, skills, and are experts in various fields in accordance with the job requirements. The MACC officers are given extensive training within the country and abroad. A Malaysian Anti-Corruption Academy, known as the MACA, was set up to not only train the MACC officers, but officers from other agencies from both within the country and abroad. The MACA now has been recognized as the training center of anti-corruption within the Asia-Pacific region. The Academy is fully equipped with state-of-the-art facilities and equipment. International cooperation was established through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU), among which are the General Secretariat of the International Criminal Police Organization or Interpol, Independent Commission Against Corruption or ICAC of Hong Kong, and International Anti-Corruption Academy, Austria. As an agency that is mandated by the government to eradicate corruption in Malaysia, the MACC is committed in fulfilling the people's trust to ensure that this country will continue to develop and the people will live in harmony. The 3 key strategies implemented are: Enforcement strategy. The MACC enforces law with trustworthiness, fairness and firmness. Complaints and information received will be scrutinized before any further action is taken. Should there be sufficient evidence, the person involved will be prosecuted. Education strategy. Initiatives to educate the public towards the fight against corruption are also emphasized. Various information, education and communication efforts are being carried out in order to enlist and foster public and the various sectors' participation to work along with the MACC towards the prevention of corruption. And prevention strategy. Corruption can occur due to weaknesses in systems and procedures. Therefore, the Commission will assist the government and the private sector to detect loopholes for corruption, as well as provide advice on how to prevent it. The effectiveness of anti-corruption efforts requires the commitment of all parties. The act of reporting cases of corruption and being a witness in court are among the roles of each and everyone. One should take a stand of do not give and do not accept. Members of the public are also urged to have the mindset and attitudinal change so as not to compromise with any form of corruption. Corruption is no more only a domestic issue, but has also turned to be a global concern. This situation warrants international cooperation. Therefore, the MACC has broadened its networking through bilateral and multilateral relations with other anti-corruption enforcement agencies within the Asia-Pacific region and among other international organizations, among which are Interpol Group of Expert on Corruption, International Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities or IAACA, Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering, Malaysia is also among the countries that has ratified the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, or UNCAC, on the 24th of September 2008. With that accomplishment, the efforts to prevent corruption in this country has one way or another fulfilled the international requirements. The government's seriousness in fighting corruption is further intensified through its Government Transformation Program, launched in 2009. Under this program, one of the National Key Result Areas, or NKRAs, is to fight corruption. The main objectives of the NKRA fighting corruption are: to reduce corruption through enforcement and compliance, to improve our score in the Corruption Perception Index, or CPI, and to improve public perception on the integrity of public services. Various initiatives have been implemented, including the reforms in the aspects of structures, laws, policies, systems, and approaches. Among them are the introduction of the Integrity Pact in government procurement, the implementation of the Name and Shame database, to improve transparency in political funding, the establishment of the Whistleblower Protection Act, and the establishment of special courts for the trials of corruption cases. The continuous support and commitment from all parties is the key to success in realizing the aspiration of making Malaysia a developed nation and at the same time succeeding to contain the threat of corruption.
Corruption is not about race, religion, or political ideology. Corruption occurs regardless of your origin, belief, or status. Corruption is a crime. Those involved in corruption are criminals. Let's make a difference. Fight corruption.